Yes.
Okay. So Facebook is making good on their promise to combat hate speech. Yes. They've banned controversial figures like Alex Jones, Louis Farrakhan, and Milo Yiannopoulos from the site. Not that I want to hear from any of them, but does this violate their First Amendment rights is what I want to know, because they're not allowed now to spew their hatred on any Facebook page. What do you say?
No, because Facebook is a private company, so the First Amendment doesn't apply to them. To
is
Facebook.
that so?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that's
so you can
government
say whatever
action.
you want.
Yeah, and you can have massacres shown live.
Yeah, Facebook.
Which is what happened in New Zealand on Facebook.
Yeah, but Facebook now has taken the tack that because they're a private company and they can monitor their own content, they've decided to do this. And, you know, I disagree certainly with all those, the platforms that those people that have been banned have, but it just does make me feel uncomfortable that you have sort of this private organization being able to take away the speech of private individuals. There's just something about it that makes the lawyer in me extremely uncomfortable.
Well, I have no issue with it at all. I want them shut down. I want them silenced. I want them muted. I think they are horrible for our society. And look, the First Amendment argument is very powerful, and it is something that's so unique to America. But it's not unlimited. It's not unrestricted. You know, in law school, you all learn about the screaming fire in a crowded theater.
Right.
If it's something that endangers people, if it's something that's going to end up hurting people, there are restrictions that can be imposed. I think the hate speech, I think we are seeing how much hateful rhetoric is triggering crazy people to do horrible things. And we need to figure out how to stop it. At the end of the day, this is going to get litigated in court. Somebody's going to challenge this.
I think so.
And the courts are going to decide.
Don't you feel it's a slippery slope at all, though? I mean, you could say, like, Ilhan Omar can't be on there now. The left won't like that.
Yeah.
No, but you know what? So we live in the freest country in the world. I love that about America. And I know that because I've spent a lot of years living in places where they don't have that, like China. But I think social media is it scares me almost more than anything about the future of society, the future of this country. That is one of the things that keeps me up at night with kids, because we didn't grow up with this. And it's not just inspiring attacks. It is bullying. It's isolating. It's making it so we don't have that human connection like we always have. It leads to look at the rates of suicides among teenagers, making people depressed, feeling lonely. So I think it's actually much bigger than being able to block a few voices that spew hate, because it's not, these are just platforms. Go on any of our mentions for 2 minutes, and there's the same amount of hate coming from everywhere.
Well, but the problem is, if you look at the stats, about 68%, I think, of adults say that they at least occasionally get their news on social media. 67% of Facebook users get their news on Facebook. And so it's become an invaluable source for the majority of Americans. And again, to have a private company be able to exclude certain Americans from that platform, there's just something that makes me extremely uncomfortable with it, even though I completely disagree.
Is that an antitrust argument, by the way, that they're so big, that they have so much power? Like, is that an argument that they're too big and they have too much control? Like, because you're right, 68% of Americans do get their news from Facebook. So there's a lot of questions that have been pushed at Mark Zuckerberg. My biggest question is always, what are you doing about the radicalization of homegrown terrorists and then terrorists abroad on Facebook? And he said to George Stephanopoulos, if someone is trying to spread terrorist propaganda, that's an area that we've built systems that are quite advanced for. Now, 99% of the ISIS and Al-Qaeda content that we take down, our AI systems identify and remove before any person sees it. Now, that's fine, except as we talked about earlier in the segment, in New Zealand, the New Zealand shooter was able to spread and show the live massacre while it was happening. So clearly it's not good enough. And my problem is just the radicalization of homegrown terrorists here, which means the white men that, are being